SWITCHBOT has just released their Air Purifier series. With spring here, the timing makes a lot of sense for those like myself that suffer from seasonal allergies. Air purifiers help to remove particulate matter and toxins from the air to, at least in theory, help contribute to a healthier indoor environment. But if you're familiar with SWITCHBOT, then it shouldn't surprise you that this isn't just an air purifier. SWITCHBOT's niche is looking for creative ways to solve problems and differentiate their products. Sometimes this can make the product seem a little gimmicky, but for this one, I'm actually pretty excited about it. There's a tabletop, so your air purifier can also be a side table. There's a light to make your space a little bit more fun and creative. There's an oil diffuser tray to just make things smell better. And then lastly, there's also wireless charging on here. There's a lot to be excited about. Let's get this out of the box, get it set up, and see what it looks like and how it actually works. To set up the device, I went into the SWITCHBOT app, which walked me through a few short steps in order to get everything connected. This is Matter compatible, and for me, I'm going to connect this using Apple Home. I was able to copy the Matter code from the settings of the device, and then from Apple Home, I was able to go in, add a device, find the SWITCHBOT Air Purifier, and then paste the code. This was quick and easy, and it worked for me the first time. Along the top here, we can see the controls. There's a parental lock. You can adjust the fan speed here. There's the power button. You can switch between auto, sleep, and pet mode, and I'll explain more about those in just a minute. There's a timer button, good if you want to crank up the speed just temporarily. And lastly, there's an indicator that'll go off when it's time to replace the filter. These options, as you would expect, are also available in the SWITCHBOT app. When we enter the device, we can see all those same controls, but we can also see the air quality based on the PM 2.5 rating. It's always nice when air purifiers include a built-in air quality sensor. Not only does this give you some peace of mind that you have good air quality, at least hopefully, but it also means you can utilize auto mode. In auto mode, the fan speed's gonna crank up when it needs to most, when the air quality goes below normal, and this means it's only working hard when it needs to, and that's gonna extend the life of the air filter, which is nice because those things are expensive to replace. Auto mode is what I would use most of the time, but what is pet mode? I was confused about this at first as well, and here's what SWITCHBOT says. When pet mode is turned on, the initial power is equivalent to the mid-level of airflow to better tackle floating pet hair and pet odor. When pet mode is kept on, once floating pet hair is detected, the airflow will gradually be increased to the max level, ensuring a less disturbing experience for pets. So perhaps this feature is useful if you have a lot of pets, especially if they shed a lot and you're noticing pet hair in the air. Luckily, I just have this little guy and he doesn't shed very much. In sleep mode, the only thing that happens is the fan is reduced, so it's ultra quiet for sleeping. Under environmental data, you get a history of the air quality. Again, this measures PM 2.5, not PM 10 or VOC concentration. You can create schedules, so if there's times of the day where you want to increase the fan speed or maybe you want to turn it off altogether when you're at work, then you can do that here. SWITCHBOT says their filter should last between 6 and 12 months before needing to replace it, which is pretty impressive and longer than most other air purifiers that I've tested. Of course, this is going to vary. It's going to depend on your environment and just how often you're using it. Once it's time to replace the filter, you'll see that indicator light turn on, and I expect you'll also get a notification from the SWITCHBOT app. In terms of replacement filters, unfortunately, I can't even see these on the SWITCHBOT website right now, so I can't tell you how much they cost to replace. I have reached out to SWITCHBOT to ask this information. I also think when you buy an air purifier, sometimes it's nice to pick up an extra couple air filters so that you've got them on hand. Anyway, once I get that information, I'll put it in the description Regardless, you only need to replace this every 6 to 12 months, so it's not really something that you have to worry about right away. There's also a pre-filter indicator, and SWITCHBOT recommends that you clean this every 2 to 4 weeks, and this can just be done with a standard vacuum cleaner. It has a large grill that's designed to specifically catch floating pet hair. The filter has 3 layers, including a HEPA filter to trap bacteria and a carbon filter for odor removal. In fact, SWITCHBOT claims that it can remove 98% of odor in just 30 minutes, including pet odors, smoke, moldy smells, and body odors. Testing specific claims like this can be challenging, but I have no doubts that this is going to help keep your air clean, especially if you have pets around the house. Aside from cleaning your air and removing bad smells, you can actually add fragrance to the essential oil tray. This adds a subtle scent to the air, but it's not as strong as using an essential oil diffuser. In Apple Home, thanks to Matter compatibility, I can control the fan speed of the air purifier, and I can even switch between auto and manual mode. I can also see the air quality status. Surprisingly, what I can't see in Apple Home is the light. This is a little unfortunate because it means I can't use this light as part of my existing Apple Home scenes. Perhaps though we'll see SWITCHBOT add this with a future firmware update. So in order to change the light, I need to do this from the SWITCHBOT app, and it's not immediately obvious how to do this within the app either. You need to go into the settings of the device, then go to backlight and sounds, and then turn it on. You can select between soft, moderate, and bright, then you can choose one of 10 available colors. There's also the option to use the light to show the current air quality. I'll put a legend on the screen so you can see that, but basically the light's going to represent a certain air quality level. So this can be helpful because there's no screen on here in order to see the actual air quality status. You need to go into the SWITCHBOT app or the Home app to see that. You can choose the basic air purifier, which comes with a waterproof top, or this wood-like table that includes a wireless charger. I say wood-like because it's clearly made of plastic and it just comes in this one pine-like finish. It's hard to make an air purifier look classy, and adding a faux wood tabletop does not change that. But I think in the right space, it can actually work well. So for example, I wouldn't include this in my great room, even though that's where I initially set it up just to take some footage. But I think down here in my basement rec room, I think this works great. It gives me a little table beside the couch. I've got a wireless charger up here. I can put my coffee on it, so I think it's just fine. The wireless charger is a nice addition. It supports 15-watt fast charging for Android and 7.5 for Apple. Having more options around the house to keep my phone charged is never a bad thing. Overall, I think this is a good release from SWITCHBOT. Even just as an air purifier, it's capable of purifying large spaces. It's got a HEPA and carbon filter built into it. The filter lasts up to a year, which is also pretty impressive. And if you're gonna have a large air purifier, then, well, why not at least have the option to put a tabletop on it, throw in some wireless charging and an essential oil tray, and I think you've got something kind of unique here. I will include product links in the description. This costs $240 US for just the air purifier, or if you want the one with the tabletop, then that's gonna be $270 US. So that's the SWITCHBOT Air Purifier series. I hope you enjoyed the video and you found the information helpful. If you have any questions, definitely let me know down below in the comments. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.